gentlemen, welcome to the 5th edition of V Alerts for the year 2025. It's been a minute, I must say, but yes, we are back. We are better. So today's edition is a bit of a combination or collaboration between the May and the June updates that we have for you today. You can call me Ume Obianuju Nicole.
And I am Osawuni Godswill Olu. Welcome you once again, and we are very glad to have you join us. It's been a minute, Nicole. How have you been?
It's been weeks. It's been months.
Now, if I'm being honest, highlight of my month is always coming right here to our beautiful studio to make sure we present to the good people listening and watching via Lad. And it's been a while, but a lot has happened since then. I think top of which has to be the conclave which produced for us Pope Leo the 14th.
A lot has happened in the Catholic Church, not just in Benin City, but globally. And on this edition, we are ready to dive into the various news stories making the rounds in our dear own church, the Catholic Church, Archdiocese of Benin City, to be precise.
Yes, we will be taking a look at all of that, but to make sure you stay updated on all the happenings right here at VLR, be sure to hit that subscribe button and always turn on post notifications so you know when next we drop a video or any content in general. And also, I would like to say, may the soul of the late Pope Francis and the souls of all the faithful departed rest in perfect peace.
Amen. So let's go down to the business, or get down to the business of the day, which is reviewing most of the headlines and sub-headlines on the front page of the Veritas newspaper. So, top of the headline, or the major headline on the front page of the May and June edition 2025 of the Veritas newspaper today is St. Philomena College of Nursing Sciences celebrates her first joint matriculation ceremony.
That's a good one.
Yeah, St. Philomena College of Nursing Sciences celebrates her first joint matriculation ceremony. That is the major headline on the front page of the Veritas newspaper for the May and June edition. And you can find complete details of the story on page 3.
Yes, but on the top part of the front page, you have a story from page 7, which says Akubese calls for dignity of labor, fair treatment on Workers' Day. As we all know, Workers' Day was not so long ago, and our Archbishop Akubese calls for dignity of labor, fair treatment on Workers' Day.
Yes, last month, because we're still in the month of June, so last month we celebrated workers worldwide.
Yes,
not just in Nigeria. And I agree with the Archbishop's call for dignity in labor. There are some persons who feel that there are some jobs that
are beneath them.
Not just beneath them, that are not worth doing.
Yeah, and I think it's a kind of pandemic in the modern day and age that we are now, because there are so many artisans that are lacking apprenticeship and people who are passing down these skills. There are so many skills out there that people are not learning anymore, and I think it's about time we remind people that there is dignity in labor, and no matter what you do, you can always make it to the very top.
So now let's look at some of all these jobs, some of this work that people belittle. Let's begin with
I think top of the list for me will be cobbling. People do not see that as a glorious or glamorous line of work anymore. I don't think I see as many cobblers as I used to, and I don't know if I should say it's quite sad, but another one that stands out for me is electricians as well as plumbers. There are not so many plumbers out there, and I think due to the reduction in people who do this job, it has now increased the prices for these services.
Not even just electricians and cobblers, mechanics as well.
Mechanics,
you see people
definitely.
look down on them because of the kind of job or kind of work they do. Without these people, most vehicles won't.
Society will be at a standstill.
Exactly, and let's not forget our cleaners.
Oh, very, very important. Imagine if all cleaners decided to stop working permanently. We would have so many disease outbreaks.
And no matter the position you find yourself, no matter the rank you find yourself in, that company, that office, or that organization, do not belittle people's work. And I agree with fair treatment for workers and Workers' Day, as rightly said by our very own Archbishop Obiora Akubese. Workers need to be treated fairly and right. There are some workers who are being paid below minimum wage still in the year 2025. I mean, that's not good. That's not a good sign.
That's not a good thing at all. And if we should look at it, fair treatment does not just stop at payment or the size of salary. Payment that has went due is also part of fair treatment. And also, the way you interact with these people, not sounding so condescending whenever you're discussing with them or asking them to do something, is a very good place to start. But away from that, the next headline says, courageous, responsible leadership. Nigerian Catholic men celebrated, challenged on Father's Day. Details of that on page 32 of the Veritas newspaper, May-June edition 2025. Father's Day is around the corner, Nicole.
Yes, on Sunday, the 15th day of June 2025, and I truly hope that the same way mothers were celebrated, the same way mothers are always being celebrated, fathers will be celebrated on Sunday, come the 15th day of June. And aside from that, just make sure you do something special for your dad. All right, make sure you do something special, no matter how little.
No matter how little, it's the thought that counts. Trust me, the thought actually really does count.
But on that same note, we are challenging fathers. There are some fathers who are not present in the lives of their children.
There are fathers who are not fathers.
Yeah, it's one thing to just have a child. It's one thing to be a father to that child. So I really hope that this year's Father's Day will also be able to talk to our fathers worldwide, not just in Nigeria.
Definitely.
Be intentional. Be an intentional father. Be in the lives of your children. Be in your home. The same way the mom, sometimes they say that the mom is more present. I would like to see a society where the father is more present than the mother is. But some fathers believe their fatherly role is provision of funds. Once the money is there, whether the said child is doing bad in his or her academics, whether the said child is going astray, whether the said child is being properly taken care of, that's not their business. As long as the money is there. But I want them to understand. I'd like probably a proper conference for fathers where they need to understand that it is way beyond providing the money. The money is important. Don't get me wrong. It's important. But in this time and age, women make money as well.
Ah, very true.
Good. So I really need them to be part of their child's life. If your child is graduating, be there. If your child is convocating, be there. There's this smile that you see on a child's face when they know that their father is watching.
Very, very true. Those are very solid points from Nicole, and I can't argue with that at all.
Moving on, still on the front page of the Veritas newspaper, we have a sub-headline here that says, NCPC boss salutes Catholics on historic election of new pontiff. NCPC boss salutes Catholics on historic election of a new pontiff. You can find complete details of this sub-headline on page 7 of the Veritas newspaper.
Yes, and I would also like to salute all Catholics on the historic election of Pope Leo XIV. But if you head down a bit lower, below the main headline, you see a story that says Cardinal Arinze's enduring call for a zealous papacy amidst church challenges. That's quite an interesting read, if I do say so. And I think what he's saying is nothing but the truth. He's calling for a zealous papacy amidst the challenges that the church is facing in this modern day and time.
Lovely. Still on the front page of the Veritas newspaper, we have a sub-headline here. Just below the major headline, it says, Habemus Papam. Habemus Papam. Page 3, you can find complete details on page 3 of the Veritas newspaper. I know for a fact that Habemus Papam simply means, in English, we have a pope.
Definitely, we do have a pope, Pope Leo XIV, and we are all very happy for that. But the sad demise of Pope Francis, world leaders have affirmed homage to papacy. There is details of that on page 3. And Nico, I'm very sure you were on social media and you saw where so many leaders from across the world paid homage to Pope Francis after his demise.
Yes, I saw that. I mean, the entire Catholic Church, we were thrown into mourning in that period. But we're happy now that we finally have a new Pope.
Yes.
In the person of Pope Leo XIV, the 267th successor to St. Peter's. Moving on the front page of the Veritas newspaper, we have a sub-headline below the major headline, and it says Nigeria hosts pivotal theological conference amidst papal transition. Nigeria hosts pivotal theological conference amidst papal transition. You can find complete details of the full story on page 7 of the Veritas newspaper.
Yes, and that was a story that is more grounded in our Archdiocese of Benin City. It says Benin Provincial CWO celebrates 31st anniversary with a grand event. Now, if you are anywhere around the Archdiocese of Benin, you definitely must have heard about the grand celebration of the 31st anniversary of the CWO in Benin.
Yes, when you hear the term Siwo, what comes to mind?
Of course.
Yeah, it was done on the 12th day of April 2025, if I'm not mistaken, and they had a theme which was a hopeful woman walks and works in faith. A hopeful woman walks in faith, and they had a mass. The entire celebration was done at St. Paul's Minor Seminary with a mass to begin with, and then proper celebration at the field right there at St. Paul's Minor Seminary. A great event, if you ask me.
Fantastic event, if you ask me. And sadly, I wasn't able to be there in person, but I heard great and fantastic stories about it.
Okay, moving on the front page of the Veritas newspaper, we have in the Easter spirit. Easter joy rings out at Holy Cross Cathedral as Archbishop gives parishioners joyful hope. Easter joy rings out at Holy Cross Cathedral as Archbishop gives parishioners joyful hope. How was your Easter celebration, by the way?
Oh, my Easter celebration was quite chill because I just wanted to take out time because the nature of my job doesn't give me much time to rest, so I just took the opportunity to do a little bit of resting this Easter. Although ironically I still worked on Easter Day, but I took time out to really relax and enjoy time with family. What about you?
Well, in the same vein, I was at work. I was working on Easter Day as usual, but had a beautiful Easter celebration.
Oh, definitely.
You can find complete details of this sub-headline on page 6 of the Veritas newspaper. In case you're just joining us, it is V Alert, otherwise called Veritas Alert, and we have been reviewing all of the stories making the rounds on the front page of the Veritas newspaper and our dear own the Archdiocese of Benin City. We'll go for a short breather. When we come back, we'll get to discuss the editorial comments we have for you.
Definitely. You do not want to miss that.
Hello there. Do you have an upcoming event? Or would you love the services of a printing press? I know two brands you can trust. Florid System Printing Press and Catholic Social Communication Benin are your best bet to deliver top-notch services at a very affordable rate. Florid System Printing Press specializes on all kinds of printing, ranging from notebooks, jotters, calendars, magazines, flyers, banners, and much more. While Catholic Social Communication Benin offers distinct video and photo coverage services nationwide for any event, be it weddings, funerals, birthdays, conferences, and lots more. Florid System Printing Press and Catholic Social Communication Benin are located at number 30 and 34 Airport Road beside St. Paul's Catholic Church, Benin City. For bookings or business inquiries, kindly contact us on 070-4387-3298. 070-4387-3298.
Welcome back to VLA. Thank you for staying with us. We are now moving to the editorial comments of this edition of VLA. Now, in the editorial comment, the headline says, Moral Leadership in Nigeria. What leaders can learn from Pope Francis.
I mean, we live in a world increasingly plagued by political instability, economic hardship, and deep social division. So let's get to highlight some of Pope Francis' leadership style. First off, he was a model of humility and service. He spoke about mercy and humility and simplicity when being a leader. We could see that in some of his actions. Also, he promoted financial accountability. How many of our leaders today can be accountable financially? Some of them don't even know what some of the funds being put in their care, on their charge, is used for.
Sadly, but it's the truth. And apart from that, he also advocated for peace and justice. That was something he was always advocating for. Peace and justice were part of the things he always advocated for. And one thing that stood out for me personally was how he always led by example.
He was a great leader. He encouraged a culture of encounter and solidarity. So first off, let's get to analyze some of Pope Francis' leadership style. First off, he was a model of humility and service. He promoted financial accountability. He encouraged a culture of encounter and solidarity. Pope Francis led by being in the streets. He was with the Catholic faithful. He was with the people every time. Some of our political leaders today, you don't see them in the streets.
They're
don't even know of the
so heavily
sufferings.
protected.
Yes.
And they don't know, they are not in touch with the grassroots, and which is quite ironic because they always claim to be grassroots politicians.
Well, he also demonstrated that true leadership starts with empathy
Very
and
true.
accountability. You cannot be a great leader if you're not accountable. If you cannot take the blame, if you don't know how to solve problems, if you are not empathic, you cannot be a great leader. You cannot be called a great leader. Also, Pope Francis led by example.
Very true. So in conclusion, the editorial comment encourages Nigerian leaders at all levels to reflect on these principles.
Yes, as Pope Francis once said, a good leader must love his people and be close to them.
Very, very true. And if Nigerian leaders took this to heart, perhaps the dream of a truly just and united Nigeria would no longer feel like a pipe dream.
Yeah. Moving on. And at the back page of the Veritas newspaper, we have some sports. Some sport updates for sport lovers. It's called Sport Extra. The first sports story we have for you today is Remo Stars become first Ogun State club to win Nigeria's Elite League.
Yeah, exciting times in Ogun State right there as the Sky Blue Remo Stars, they lifted the MPFL title for the first time in 25 years. And I can tell you, the only other team from Ogun State that has won silverware is Abiola Babes, who actually won the Challenge Cup some time ago. Although back there it was the Challenge Cup, but now it is called the Federation Cup and it has been updated to President's Federation Cup. It's very, very exciting because, come on, this is a fairy tale story for them. And now they will be playing continental football, representing Africa, or rather representing Nigeria on the big scene.
Still on the back page of the Veritas newspaper, we have more sport news. Departing Ancelotti wishes Alonso luck as his Real Madrid successor.
Well, Xabi Alonso, former captain of Spain and Real Madrid, as well as a record-breaking winner of the German Bundesliga, will be taking over the reins at Real Madrid, one of the clubs where he really made his name. And I can't lie, he just came in time for the Club World Cup. He will be taking charge of Real Madrid in the Club World Cup as they aim to really, really get things rolling. Well, there, Ancelotti is taking over the Brazilian national team. And so we have seen that both managers are now doing well for their new jobs because Ancelotti has been able to secure qualification for the World Cup for Brazil. And Ancelotti is currently recruiting lots of players, top of which is Trent Alexander-Arnold, who has moved from Liverpool to Real Madrid wearing jersey number 12.
Lovely. So that particular story begins at the back page of the Veritas newspaper and continues on page 16. And for Remo Stars becoming the first Ogun State club to win Nigeria's Elite League, the complete details of that story is at the back page of the Veritas newspaper. It has been V Alert. Thank you so much for joining us. But remember that if you'd like to advertise your goods or services, if you like to advertise your brand, if you like to promote your brand, you need more publicity for your business, kindly do business with us. Advertise with us. Contact us for your product, advert, change of name, announcement, ceremonies, and so much more. Our advert rate are quite negotiable and affordable. For advert placement, please call 070 4387 3298 or you can call 080 6125 5024.
Okay, we also provide live streaming services for all sorts of events, be it birthdays, weddings, burial ceremonies, or any event you have in mind. We can help you cover it and stream across Facebook and YouTube. kindly follow us across our various social media platforms for more updates regarding this. But you can simply contact 08137447852. That is the number to contact if you would like to inquire about our streaming services.
That's the most we have for you today on the alert. Which of the stories was your highlight today?
Oh, I am very, very glad that we have a new Pope, Pope Leo the 14th. I think that is the highlight for me. The new Pope, and of course, Pope Leo addressing everybody right there at St. Peter's Basilica.
Well, for me, it has to be the story for the major headline. I mean, I am excited. I'm happy for the staff and management of St. Philomena College of Nursing Science as they have celebrated their very first joint matriculation ceremony, more celebration for the institution of learning. It has been VLR. Thank you so much for joining us. Join us next month for another beautiful edition where we'll be here to keep you up to date, to keep you updated rather on some of the happenings in the Catholic Church, especially our Diocese of Benin City. And on that note, I say bye-bye. My name is Ume Obiani Juniko.
And I remain Osamudiame, God's will, Olu.